welcome back to another episode of the Gadget Man 369 channel. We are building this paper rocket, as you know. This will be episode number 12, part 12. And today we are going to make the shroud lines and the parachute. We have enough time to do all that. It's going to be probably a big video. Anyway, I just thought I'd start off with different kinds of material to use the parachute out of. This is a paper bag that you get at the store, like, you know what I mean? That's what it's made out of. Paper bag. Okay? Here's the problem with that. Don't use a store paper bag. That's what's going to happen when the parachute tries to open. Okay, this is one of those cheap party tablecloths, picnic tablecloths. Watch what happens with this. Boom, opens right up. This is why we need to use this tablecloth stuff. If you go to a 99-cent store, right, Big Lots, or a party store, or something like that, you'll find something like this. It's real cheap too. Alright? This stuff is fairly thin too. And it's cheap. There's enough to make a whole bunch of rocket parachutes out of this stuff. This is a green one, and I've made this out of red. But I'm going to show you how to actually cut the parachute out. Okay, so this is what you need to get. One more time. See if you can see that. Alright, you might be able to get it on eBay or whatever. Throw that out there. Yeah, now, this is what I'm using for the parachute line. Don't know if you could see this stuff. It is nylon. Okay, let me get my glasses on because I won't be able to read that. Okay, it was $3.99. It's called Artisti, however you pronounce that. 100% acrylic crochet thread. Okay, this has like 370 yards. That's like, wow, okay, that's a lifetime supply. But it's got to be acrylic or nylon or something. And this stuff is pretty thin. It's almost like kite string. Okay, gonna need that for the parachute itself. Now, the shroud line, getting rid of those glasses. The shroud line, like I said on the last episode, should be this heavy cotton line. This is so light, it's unbelievable how light this is. I couldn't find the roll, it's missing right now in action, but I can just get another roll of that stuff. But it is cotton. As you can see, it's pretty thick. It looks like it's about a 1/16 of an inch thick, relaxed, but because it's cotton, it's extremely light. Doesn't have too much give in it, but that's what you're going to need a roll of. I said turkey basting line. It looks similar to this, and I don't know if that's the same material as this. If it's like heavy duty and not all flimsy, loose like a noodle, then that's not the stuff you want. And again, you can get this at any art store. Let me wrap this. Here's a good way to wrap this back on here so it won't get all tangled up. Okay, hurry up. I got enough here with this scrap piece here to do the job. Okay, let me give that a couple of little wraps there. There, now it's not going to get tangled. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Where's those scissors? Okay, gonna get your ruler, your scissors, and here is an unopened package. Yellow rockets I like with red parachutes. Green would probably go good with blue. That's in my eyes only. And a yellow parachute would really go good with a red rocket. So, you know, gotta have something here. as you can see, this material, you know, is like that. So what I'm going to do, that's 2 layers right there. And this here, see if I can show you what this is. Okay. Oh, there's 3 layers in there. Huh. Let's see. This is pretty thin stuff. For bigger rockets, you want to go the next thicker material. Okay, I'm just going to make a mess of this because running out of time. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. Kind of fold this in half like that. Grab that in the middle. And fold this. You don't have to be all real pretty about it. Okay. Just make sure that it's all out. Okay, like that. Fold it over. This is the shortest end right here. So I'm going to keep keeping an eye on that. Just keep folding it over until you get a really pretty small section of that. Okay. Now you want to take your ruler. See if I can do this upright for the camera. Okay. We're going to make a 12-inch parachute. So right about here. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Okay. On the ruler, there's 6 inches right there. Okay. Now you could just like pinch this off, toss the ruler away, like that. Take your scissors, kind of make that a little tight, like that, and then cut it off. Hold it down like that and just go like that. All right, and here's what you end up with. A nearly perfect circle. Pretty darn good, huh? A neat little trick. Instead of having to lay it out and cut it all the way around on a circle, which is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so that's taken care of. And this mess, I'm going to just throw away for later. I can roll that up back nice and neat. Is that about it? That's about it for right now. Oh, there is something else. Here's something you could study if you can. Here's kind of like the layout of the holes that you need to put in the parachute. We'll show you how to do that. You're going to just get a foam piece. You know, this is like one of those cheap from the 99-cent store. Yeah, I know. Dollar Tree. Trying to get used to that. This is like $1.29 for a big, huge piece. And you don't have to poke the holes in there like you see on here right now. Okay, that's going to be explained in a bit. But this here, you need to make one of those. Let's see. 11 inches. Oh, the parachute. 11 inches. No, what the heck does that say? Boy, it's hard to do anything without your glasses. Yeah, that was upside down. 11-inch parachute. Note on the make of shrouds. Let's see how this fits on here really quick. We're going to go smaller with that parachute. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to measure that. You know what? This sheet of paper is 8.5 wide, and that's about as wide as you're going to get on there. 8.5. So half of 8.5 is what? Okay. It's a little tricky folding that back up again. Okay, we've got a half moon. Fold that like that. Make sure it's out all the way. Now I'm going to just keep folding this in half. Okay, now this is what we got. We're going to make this radius 4 1/4 to give us the 8.5. So come back over here. And there's the 4 1/4. This rocket don't require a big parachute. 12 inches, you might not ever get it back again. The wind will catch that lightweight thing and it'll just blow away. Okay, that's 4.5 inches. Gonna do what we did before. There we go, throw that away. Now, we have a smaller parachute. All right. Like that. That should be plenty enough parachute for a rocket that size that doesn't weigh anything, okay? Okay, so if you lay that on there, kind of looks like that. It's pretty close enough, slightly bigger. Okay, without further ado, let's get on with this build. First, we're gonna get this and lay that on there like that. Okay, center it as good as you can, because this is something that you're not going to be able to see with that paper. Okay, let's see, I got a kink there I don't like. Okay, so you can see these marks here from the previous parachute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put tape there. You don't want to put tape where you're going to poke a hole through it. Okay, try not to stretch it, you know, overstretching it. I'm just getting it where it lays down almost by itself, but all the way over. Okay, that's not too much of just a slight stretch in that in mine. Okay, one here, one there. Good, that'll take care of that flat spot. Okay, just barely pull on it. Okay, like that. Two more pieces, and we're set to go. Okay. Now, like I said, don't stretch it, but just pull it enough to get the wrinkles out. Okay, now for a little bit of a tricky part. A tricky part. We're gonna have to find out. Okay, here, this is a needle I'm gonna use to sew it up with. You can get these at leather supply stores or someplace like that. Gigantic needle. I'm gonna come back over here like that. I'm gonna put my hand just about over that hole like that. Don't worry, I'm just making this up as I go. Now, this template. Okay, come on. Where is that hole? There we go. There we are. Look at that. Okay. All right. Now, while that's in there, hey, I just made this trick up. Boy, is this a good trick. Okay, now I'm gonna just tape this down like that, like that. Now if we make a bigger parachute for a bigger rocket, we're gonna make a much bigger template. But okay, here we are, and this is what we got. Now you can pull that needle out. That needle's not very sharp. I don't know if I can get that through there. Well, we know that one's plugged. Okay. This is something you could help put a piece of masking tape over there, like that. Okay, and just start poking holes in it. Let's see how wide we gotta go. Okay. Let's see, let me grab a pencil. This parachute comes out to about right there on there. Okay, just marking. Okay, see that? I'd rather have it, okay, right about there, right about there, right about there. Okay, let's see, we gotta figure out where that hole is gonna be. I see one that I got crooked already. It's okay. This is just the first one. Like that. Okay, this next one, you don't want to come out to the edge, but you want to have, oh, let's just say about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, like that. Now we do the other one. Put that over that tape thing. 1, 2, 3. That didn't come out too pretty. This is, I'm gonna have to like sharpen this needle. Okay. And then there's that 1/4 of an inch. Boy, I hope that's like that. Okay. Not too perfect. You know that my video, I'm in a hurry. Let's see. Boy, that goes through there like there's nothing there. I really don't feel it poking through anything. And there's that 1/4 of an inch. I'm just guessing. You can see right here, it probably is over here, but I'm just in case it's not. Okay, 1/4 of an inch. Like that. Okay. By the way, you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, including that center one. There's an odd number of holes. So what we want to do is make sure that we have an odd number of holes there. Oh boy, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got an even number of holes. Should have been odd. I should have actually redid all these, but I started the video and now we're in this let's wing it mode. I never tested this to see if it was gonna work out or not, but we'll find out. We might have to do a little trick at the end. Just like this. What do we got going here? Okay, there's that one, and then there's that one. Boy, I hope it's not, I don't get any that cuts the end off. But you could redo this template, measure out all those little, these holes I'm poking out. Make sure there's an odd number. 11, 13, you know, you get the idea. Like this. That one right there. You could tell this was my template. That I experimented with this parachute prototype. Oh my God. Okay, no. It feels like I didn't do this yet, but I know I did. And there's that one. Okay. I'm not sure where I started. That looks like it, huh? Well, I'm gonna pull one of these up. Just pull one of it and double check. Yeah, I got them all. Yay! Okay. Now we can pull this template off. It's a parachute hole punching template. And you're kind of wondering, have you ever seen a parachute made like this before? Well, like I said in an earlier video, I don't like the parachutes, although you could buy one of those and use that instead. Get a little 8-inch parachute. But some of the shroud lines are going to rip right out of that thing. So this is what we got right here. Okay, I'm going to leave that on there for now. Okay. So, here's our string. The first one we're going to make is going to be overkill. Okay? So we got shroud lines. Okay, you got there to there, so we got 8.5. Plus 7. 15, we'll just call it 15. Okay, that's That's because you're going to sew from here and then back again. And on this one, you know, of course, you're going to have a shroud line on all the other ones, but this one's going to be extra long. So that'll be a tie-on point to the shroud line. Okay, what did I say we have here? 8.5 plus 8, let's just call it 16. Better to have too much than not enough. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's go overkill on this. 25 inches or 24 inches. Okay, there's 12. Okay, 24. What did I say I have? Oh God, let's see. Not very good at math. Where's my calculator? No. Okay, let's see. 24. 36. That's 36. That should be more than enough. Okay, so that's 3 times around the ruler. And a little for the road. Okay, so you're gonna come over here. Okay, gotta have a lighter. Okay, where's those scissors? You got nylon or acrylic. Oh, come on. Sheep. Okay, melt the ends a little bit. That way it won't come unraveled. Okay, here's the long one. Okay, set that aside separately. Now for the shorter ones. Okay. 8.5. 8.5. 8.5. Okay. And then what do I want here? Okay, these are the shorter ones. Let's see what the ruler gives us. Keep it simple. 12. Let's just make those 24. Okay, we're not wasting too much here. Okay, like this. Give your fingers a good burn. Just like that. Okay, don't touch the end of that until you know it's dry, until it's done. So there's one. Okay. Just like that. There's probably an easier way to do this, but right now I'm just focusing on getting the job done before the batteries go dead. Okay, like that. Okay, we've got 3 out of 8 made. 1 long one and 7. Just to be consistent, I could like line those up like this, like this. This is just a more be sure that you're doing it correct way. A trick when you're cutting this is to do this. Loop it over there and then pull down on it and go like that. That's in case the scissors are too dull to do it any other way. Okay. Got 3 of those. I'm just pulling it off of this acrylic crochet thread. It's kind of more like string in my opinion. Okay, like this, like that. You do this a few times and you become an expert. See how many times I get this out of the camera view. Careful you don't burn your fingers. Okay. 4. Okay. These, by the way, if I didn't mention it before, are called shroud lines. The lines on a parachute are shroud lines. Those are the lines that are attached to the parachute in that famous pattern you see with parachutes. Come on. Ah. Better get me a new lighter. Hope that doesn't cause a problem because it's slowing me down. There's 5. Okay. It's okay if you're off a little bit. We got 24 inches here, which is, I think, more than enough. Like I said, when we get this all done, it will be cutting and trimming and all kinds of fun stuff. Okay. One more. All right. I do have that long one that I made. It's sitting aside separately so I don't get it mixed up in this pile. Okay, like that, like this. Oh, that just cut by itself. Yeah, you don't want to use that heavy string on the parachute. Throw that over there. Because it won't make a good parachute. Okay, the parachute shroud lines should be kind of thin, like this. And we could use this same string on a much bigger parachute. Okay. Looks like I bumped that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm gonna take this off of here. I wonder if I could sew that on there. Nah, I wouldn't be able to get up underneath it. For you people out there who do sewing, you could probably go, oh, I know a much better way to do that. It looks like I fingernailed that tape down there a little bit too hard, so you gotta be careful you don't mess up the way. I don't like that. See, that tablecloth's a little thin. Thought this tape was supposed to be kind of like a masking tape that comes right off. Okay, not too much damage. Next. Good. Start from this side. Avoid a fingernail mark on it like I did on that last side. And just like you've seen this technique before, is get it started sideways. Okay, very good. Ooh. Okay. Come on, off it there. Gotta be Arnold Schwarzenegger to pull that tape off of there. And it's supposed to be masking tape. Easy to pull off. I don't know if there's different colors. This is blue stuff is what I got. They got green, they got yellow, and maybe it's better to use the tape that sticks the less. That sticks the least. Okay. Now we get rid of that. Boy, just like a boomerang. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. If I could find it. Where's that big needle? Boy, I hope that didn't roll away. I don't need to be going through this. There it is. Whew. Oh, I got lucky on that one. Hey, don't need that anymore. Okay, let's sew this puppy up. I think I'm gonna do the long one first or last. Which would be better? Let's do the long one first, just logically speaking. All those, when you do the long one, it's gonna be like all those other shrouds are gonna be in the way. Go like that. I don't know. Don't tie that knot too far up there because you're gonna lose string. But if you remember, I did make it a little extra long. All those I think are all a little extra long. Okay, now we're going to determine which is the top, and you got to do the same thing all the way around. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, going to go through this one like that, and then through the next hole here. I'm not the greatest sewer in the world. Okay, like that. Like that. Okay, I like the size of this needle. The prototype one I made, I only had a regular needle, and boy, I have to say, that was really hard to thread the needle. And having it, this big one, makes life easier. Okay, so we're doing the big one right now. Let's see, must be a better technique to hold this, where I could do this better. I'm just turning it over. Go like this. Once I get going and get used to this. Okay. Oops, I don't want to do that. Okay. Okay. Everything's still rolling okay. Okay, put that one in there. Okay, turn it over. Yeah, this is a little tedious, but you're gonna have one killer parachute. And it's better than, it'll be better than the ones you buy, those plastic ones that just come apart. Okay. Okay, there's that center hole right there. This is where we're gonna go through and then go back through all the same holes again. Like that. Okay. Now, this one goes through there. This isn't exactly really hard to do, it's just tedious because we have many holes to go. Untwist that a little bit. Come on, go through the same hole, don't poke a new one. When you're all done sewing this up, you're going to see how great this works. It holds the parachute together really good, and there ain't no way, unless you have a fire or something, that this parachute is going to rip apart. Yeah, this tablecloth is really thin. It's probably amongst the thinnest that you could get. But like I said, for this rocket, it's fine. One of my favorite colors in a parachute like this for the tablecloth is they got this checkerboard pattern. Sometimes they're hard to find in the right thickness. It's like the next thickness size up from this one, but not the heaviest. But it's really nice, and that comes in a big roll. And that makes a rather unique pattern. Okay. Where are we getting here on this? Yeah, see, I needed that odd hole because this is going to come out. Oh no, it's okay. Okay, we're okay. Put it through here. Okay, so I just proved that it doesn't matter what the number of the holes are. Okay, got this through there. Okay, like that. Yeah, you know what? Always cut your shroud lines a lot longer than you need, because we need some room here. Okay, you can see I got plenty enough here. Okay, untied that. Don't let that needle roll away. Okay, now here's what we're gonna do. Put your finger on this right here and just give it a light tug. Okay, we don't want to tug that so hard that you're distorting the material here, but you want to get it to where there's no slack in any of them. Okay, you could give this a real good pinch right there, whereas you could see a little bit of that in there. Now what we're going to do is tie a double knot in there. I usually put one end of the string in my mouth and pull it. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, go again. Okay. don't like that. It's moving. What kind of a knot did I put in there on the other ones? Oh, you know what? Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and put in, lick your fingers, give this a twist a little bit like this so you can get this. This is tricky to do when you need to be an octopus. Okay. This is the kind of knot. My error. Okay, now the trick is to push this all the way up here. Try and get that. Okay, I got that one butted up against the other knot, which I don't like. Okay, just like that. Okay, you'll see more on the other one. Now that one's not too bad. Now, you gotta cut it over here. Okay, and leave about, oh, 1/8 of an inch or something. Just like that. Okay, keep pinching on that like that, and you notice that little tick sticking out. Just like that. Now you take your lighter that don't work. There we go, you saw that? Just like that. There's one shroud line done. Okay, I kind of goofed up the knot. That looks pretty good though. Okay, now we got to do this in such a way where it's not going to get all tangled up. Next one. Going to do the same thing except put the correct knot in there this time. Let's see. That's the side. This one has the biggest little ball on it. Boy. Okay. Like this. Okay. I think tying a square knot would be the deal. Boy, that thing just doesn't want to. Oof. You know how to tie a square knot. If you don't, look it up. Okay, and that'll hold. See the way that one goes? Like that. And then you have to change sides kind of like this. And well, you could look it up, tie a square knot. Then it won't be coming undone by itself. There we are. Just like that. The other one kind of came apart a little bit. Looks like I missed a hole over here on this side. Okay. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe there was just a bunch of extra material there. But there's room to put another hole in there. Okay, here we go. Here. It's got to be an easier way to do that. In that hole. Boy, some people are really fast doing sewing. They could be, they'd be done by now. It's like, oh, what's your problem, man? You're slow. Like I said, the more times you do this, the quicker you're going to get at it. Again, don't poke a new hole in it. Okay, I need more string. Crocheting thread. Okay, doesn't look like thread to me though. Thread is like really thin. This looks more like string to me. Okay. Boy, that would be really cool if we could finish everything today on today's video. I'm not watching the clock or nothing, because that takes time. And it's distracting. Just like when you're at work. If you sit there and stare at the clock, you'll feel like you're going to be there forever. If you don't pay attention to it and focus on what you're doing, bam, the day's done before you know it. Get to go home and have that pizza and beer. Okay, there's this. Okay, you know what's coming up next. Okay, now we're going to go back through the same holes. There must be a better way to hold on to this so you could be faster. Like that. Like this. Okay, don't want to get that shroud tangled up in there. Okay. Yeah, on yours you can make a nice laid out template. Take a compass, lay out an 8-inch or 8.5-inch diameter circle, and then put these holes in there, leaving 1/4 of an inch on that hole that's close to the edge, because you don't want to just have it rip out or something or do some bad things. Okay, just like that. Okay, like that. Get that out of the way. Okay, like that. You know what? I'm just gonna do it this way, because if I poke another hole, it'll make all the rest of the holes uneven. Okay, so now you come over here and attempt. This is like acrylic or nylon. It's rather easy to undo those, or you could just, like, if you're not that patient, take a pair of scissors and cut the thing off. There, make it come off of there. Okay, get rid of that access. Okay, now we're gonna come over here like before, put your finger in the middle, give that a little tug, a little pet. Come over here and pinch that right there. Okay, real tight. Right there. If I got enough here. Boy, that's cutting it close. Okay. 24. Next time, make those shroud lines, the short ones, 30 inches. That way you got more to play with here. Now this is a little tricky. You got to keep pinching onto that and hold on to this right here somehow or another. There, like that. Okay, and then push that knot right up at the edge of your thumb, which will bring it right up to the edge of that parachute without boogering the edge of the parachute up, just like that. See that? Here we are. Look at that. Huh? Perfect. Okay. Okay. Looks like I barely got enough. I think what I'm going to do is make sure that I have that little 1/8 inch there. Bam. Now you got to be a little quick with this, because as soon as you cut it, it's unraveling. There's that little tick thing there. Okay, lighter. Come on, lighter work. Don't aim that down at your finger, but kind of like away. And you just barely touch that flame to the edge of that knot. Okay, there's no way that's gonna come off. We're getting around this mulberry bush here. Okay, grab another string. You know, it's really hard to talk when you're focused on performing this task that you're doing. Okay, where's that big needle? This time, leave more material, okay? I'm gonna make that close as possible. I don't know if I can get one of those special knots in there. Well, let's try it and see. Otherwise, you just need, that's why you need a lot of extra material. Not quite. Okay, let's just go ahead and do the square knot thing. This will be trickier because I'm leaving a little bit longer shroud line over there, because it was like almost too close for comfort. Okay, get that square knot in there. Come on, baby. Boy, that's hard to do. Here, the octopus, I'm really pinching the back of that needle, so you're gonna have to like tie the knot with one hand. Come on. Boy, stubborn. Is that it? Ah, missed it. Shoot. There's gotta be a... See, if I had a longer this is longer. It's easy to tie a knot because you don't worry about the material, but 24 inches, not long enough. Make it 30 inches and you'll be okay. Okay, there we go. All right. Whew. That was a hassle. Let's see. What did I do? Okay, I went through like this one and that one. The very first one went through the top first. Okay, like that. Boy, if you're good, you don't need to turn it over. There was one like that. There's this one. Ooh, perhaps a new technique. Saves you time. If you could do that. Put it through those holes. Yeah, all the rockets I've lost and many other people's rockets out there are lost due to faulty recovery systems. Faulty parachutes, faulty shroud lines, you know, not getting tangled up, and you can't do anything about an engine failure though. If that happens, you shoot your rocket off, you get one great flight, the engine fails to eject the parachute or something, and you have this big crash, and if it destroys your whole rocket, it'll be like, oh cool, now I can build another one. Okay, you only got so much room for this stuff. Okay, through the same hole. I don't know if I could do that trick like this. Let's see, can I? It's harder to get that through there. Okay, never tried that before. Okay, down through this one. Probably gonna speed the video up. I don't know, it all depends. Okay, maybe I don't have to sharpen that needle. Seems to be working just fine. This needle is made for leather work, I believe. Want to sew a horse saddle or something like that? This is the needle to do it. Or you could use it for a rocket parachute and maybe many other things. Let's see, I need some more. I'm gonna pull on that, put your finger over here. See if I can get a, okay. I'm gonna pull on that. Do this kind of a trick like a shoelace thing. Okay. There we go, now I got a little bit more to work with. Like that. Okay. Come on, get in there. That. Okay, like this. Okay, I got away with that. Okay, same old thing. I wish that was shorter. You know what? Let's see if I can get that shorter. Like this, like that. Yeah, we could do that. Another trick I just invented. Or came across. Okay, now this one. Like that. I'm just going every other one. I don't know if you could tell what I'm doing here. Okay, like that. And like that. There, that's way better. Okay, put my finger over here. Give it a little, just a light tug, and then wipe that over there. Let's get rid of this. Looks like it'll just come apart. Looks like I didn't get the square knot actually. Good thing. Okay. Make sure that's still good. Come over here and pinch it off again. Okay. I got a little bit more shroud line to work with. And a little bit more here. I could have taken more slack off of that. Boy. I'm giving a twist like this, so when I'm going like this, it naturally will turn the right way, okay? If you do too much, you get this twist like that. But if you just do a little bit, you do it just right, you end up with this. And it makes it really easy to tie the knot. Okay, and then there's this again, okay. Octopus time. Gotta push that knot. Make sure you keep that knot even. Yeah, takes a little bit of a skill to be able to do this. And try and get that knot right up against your thumb. And I'm pinching that edge of that parachute. Just be a little patient. You're tightening as you're pushing your fingers inward. You know, just work it your way down till it don't move no more. There we are. There we are. Look at that. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay. Now we know what we're going to do here. Okay. That looks a little bit better there than the other one. It's like 1/8 of an inch. There we go, a little bit more. What that does is it puts a little plastic ball on the end of that. Then there's no way that can come untied. Whew. Wow, we'll be halfway done as soon as this one's done. That's what we got so far. Get the needle out. Getting hot in here. Yeah, making the shroud line will be quick and easy. Boy, I wish I would have made those longer than 24 inches. Like I said, 30, I wouldn't even be worrying about this knot. I would just like put it in there and be done with it. But being it's so tight, see, this is what you call learning as you go along. Okay, let's see how I'm gonna be doing this. Here we go. Gar. R. Sounds like a damn pirate. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now. Down. Make sure I'm going to double. There's the first one, so it's going down. It probably don't matter which way you start it, if it's reversed or not, because when that knot's tied, it's the same on both sides, you know. See, I'm going to get faster this time with it. Then we can have parachute sewing races. Yeah, there we go. $20 prize to see who could sew up the parachute the quickest. Yeah, okay. Kind of figure out some little tricks that you could do along the way to make it easier. There's that horse noise again. Mr. Ed, you know. Ooh, that was a good one. Harder to do when you're holding that needle all the way at the end. Okay. Just like that. One right through the middle. And then we start on the way back again. I think that was a little bit quicker this time. Here's what you can do. You can measure this. How much string do you really want when you get to the end? Part of the problem is that needle is so big. Yeah, like I said before, repeat. Should have made that 30 inches. Always better to have too much string than not enough, because you can't add the string back on without making a horrible mess. Okay, like this, like that. Make sure I'm not, maybe it's better to turn it over so you won't be like knotting it up or catching some other shroud line in the meantime. I need more line. Darn. I don't know if I can get away with doing that. We're going to try something. See if that works. So the long needle, they'd have a needle like this, only just as fat. Great big eyelet, because it's really hard to get string like that size to go through a needle. Let's see if I can get away with this. Don't want to damage the parachute though. Stretching a material. But scrunching it like that, it seems to be working. Come on, get in there. Oh, scrunch like that. Okay, that worked. Okay. Now, just do the whole finger thing here, like that. Okay, untie the knot. It's better if you can untie that knot if your string's too short here, because that next knot, it'll be easier if you have more. Oh, it's being stubborn. The heck with it. Okay. Okay. All right. Now. Okay, pinch that off. Okay. Give this a slight, lick your fingers. Like this. You can probably hear that lawnmower in the background there. Okay. Yeah, I think tying these knots takes the most coordination. Okay. Boy. Now you gotta work that knot. Yeah, don't pull on it and tighten it. See, I'm pushing that way, and then you kinda do something to pull the excess out there like that. Gotta work that knot all the way up to your thumb. And that's the tricky part. Takes a little patience by Guns N' Roses. Okay. See if I can get these fingers to hold them. That makes it easier to push that knot down there. Okay. There we are. Look at that. Perfect. Next. Well, not quite. Ah, that was terrible. See, these scissors aren't exactly... Okay, I can't get any more. Yeah, you guys go buy a better pair of scissors. Okay, that'll work though. There, look at that. See, it lies down just about where it should be. Halfway. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we got 2 more left. Well, that's kind of weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we only needed 6 shroud lines? Huh, I thought it was 8. My mistake. This is a 6 line shroud line parachute, not 8. I don't know where I got the 8 from. Okay. Well, that's good. We'll get done a little bit sooner with this parachute. Boy. Yeah, knots are always tricky. I want that, as much of that line left over as possible. Okay, like that, like that, like that. Getting a little bit better with that. Good. That was a square knot by accident. You could tell because when you're pulling on that, a square knot won't slip, but a regular knot will. Come on, baby, baby. Okay, get some of that out there like that. Can always back that shroud line back off if you need more line to sew with. Okay. Okay. Yeah, a bigger parachute, we could actually do 8 lines, and even a bigger one. The next parachute we'll build for the big rocket will be 8 shroud lines. And then the colossal rocket that we're going to eventually build, hopefully, if everything goes right, well, we're going to make a 16 shroud line parachute. They just look nicer. I'm not sure if they work any better or not, but part of this is, yeah, what does it look like? What does the flight look like? You want to see a flight that is just absolutely beautiful. Not some sloppy piece of junk, you know. Rocket flies and it goes up there all cockeyed and wiggling and all that. And then when the parachute opens, it's all flipping around and it looks really crappy, you know. We don't want that. We want a nice looking flight. Okay. I need to turn it around on that one. Come on, baby. Maybe you can do it quicker turning it around. Let's see. Yeah, maybe instead of doing the fishing, we can, there we go. Gar. Did I say gar again? God, stop that. There we go, or there we are. One or the other, but not both at the same time. Unless you want to pay somebody some big money to add gar in the dictionary for the meaning of, oh, it could be used for go or are, all in the same word. Okay, let's see. There we are. Okay. God, I wish I could untie that. Look at when I have to cut it off, I'm losing a lot of shroud line there. Oh God, what a mess. Okay, the knot's too good. Well, better have a better knot than not at all. Okay, get rid of that. Don't roll away. Do I have enough line here? Looks like I barely got enough line. Let's see. Okay, that line should be at least as long as that parachute is wide, and plus the knot we gotta make in there. I think it'll be fine. Now, put your finger on that center again. Give it a light tug, not a heavy tug. Brush it like a cat. Pinch it. And then we're gonna try and put that knot in there. Boy, if you could get that knot started really close to your thumb, it'd be easier. Right now, I'm using my thumb to help hold some of that string. Okay, just remember, when you make knots, it shortens the string too. Okay. 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 See, I'm grabbing that down here. It's kind of tricky to do all that. Ooh, this is a good one. Look at that. Look at that. Perfection. Ah. Cut that off. Burn a ball in the end of it. If you just cut it and you don't like burn or melt the end of that, it will come unraveled. And then it most likely will be, it most likely will come apart, you know? You don't want that, not after all this work. Okay, come on, cheap lighter. You know what's really weird about these? Sometimes they don't light because there's no oxygen in there. You just lightly blow some oxygen in there. There we are. Okay, we got one left and we got a couple of extra strings left. Don't need that, just throw it away. All right, here we go. Okay, let's see. I want to tie close as I can because I want as much string as possible. The tighter you make that, the shorter that the shorter that end is over there, the harder it is to make the knot. Now let's see what kind of a knot we got. Oh, what do you know? Got lucky with another square. Square knot, that is. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's just easier to flip it over, huh? Where's that hole? sure there's no knot in there. Okay, good. Now we're on it. Boy. The faster you try and go, the slower everything ends up. You just get in the way of yourself, it seems like. Yep, in the way of yourself. Get the end of that out there. Try and keep it, you don't want to sew the other lines into that. Okay. Flip it over. Flip it over. Okay, come on, go through there. Dun 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 dun. Charge. Okay. Alright. Okay, now this one is going to go through the center. That center is going to be a little bit stronger than you think it's going to. Okay. Let's see, what do I want here? Like I said, I could always back that out. Okay. I'm just adjusting it. Okay, I'm planning on cutting that knot off of there. So that looks like a good length to me, about what is that, 1 3/4 inches or something? That should leave me enough to where I can tie a good knot in it. Wow, we're almost done sewing. Watching TV or playing the video game. And sew it up and take all night long if you want and make it absolutely perfect. And then blow away the job that I'm doing. Okay. Okay. Hopefully all of this is staying in the camera view. Look at that. The scrunching method. So I'm pulling on this and it's kind of balling up there, and that gives me enough room to get that needle in the hole. So this needle's length, okay, I'll buy it. Straighten this out a little bit. Put your finger right here. I'm actually putting my finger on the edge of that string right there. Not back here, because you might rip that hole open. But I'm holding the back side of that string together and giving it a little tug. Okay, pet it like a cat. Come over here. Oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Oh, the knot came undone by itself. Cool. Okay, give that a good pinch. Start twisting that. Twist it just right, so you can get that loop in there, and it just lays down. If you do it just right, that loop will just lay down right where it's supposed to be. Make it a lot easier to tie that knot. Okay, now let's try this trick. Just barely pinch the edge of those two lines right there, so I can hang on to that. Can't do it that way yet. Looks like I let one go. Let's see. Okay, you could individually pull them if it's not going down correctly. Boy, this is tricky. All right. See what I'm doing here? I'm pushing the edge of that right there. And if you could hold it there and take your other two fingers and pull that line. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, don't do that. Do not tighten the line there. Okay. Now I gotta back that out. Gotta get that knot. Okay, see that? Right there, I'm gonna push that through. And grab a hold of that again with my other fingers. There's a loose line there. Which one is it? That one. Okay. Okay, always the last one's gonna be the one that screws up, huh? Come on. I don't like how, see, there's a little gap there. I don't know if that would hurt anything or not, but I'm picky. Come on. Yeah, never bear down and tighten this knot until this knot is in the position where it's supposed to be. Okay, it's kind of tricky to do this. Okay, now I think I can grab that and then take this and slide it up against my thumb. There it goes. Okay, see that? I got a little, gotta find out which one of these strings. You pull on one of them. Yeah, that one. Okay, so you grab a hold of the whole knot, give it a little tug, and now you hold on to that knot and tighten it. There we are. Okay, come on, man. Just like this. Get my, careful not to cut that other line. Okay. Don't cut it any shorter than a 16th. Boy. Okay. That's about a 16th, because it won't give you anything to burn on. There you go. Look at that. One parachute done. Almost. Some other phase. I don't like that crease in here, but so this is what we get, right? Like this. Okay, pull all these lines out. Come on. Oh, that's the long one. That's the first one we did. Okay, got this one. Got this one, got this one. Separate them all. Okay, there we go. Kind of looks like a jellyfish. Now, what you want to do is pinch this in the middle, lift it up, and go like this. Okay. Okay. Gotta make sure those are all even. See, there's a little extra material there, so we're gonna work that out of it. Okay. Well, there's something else we could do. Okay, actually fold the parachute like you're gonna fold it up. Okay, let me show you here. We're gonna fold it up between here and there in half like that, bringing one of these to one of those. Okay, I want to make sure those shroud lines are all the same size, and simply match all the knots to knots. Knott's Berry Farm, yeah, it's like, shoot. Fold that in half, like that, okay? Now, we're gonna make sure that doesn't move, but we're gonna bring these knots to those knots. Okay? All in the same place. And the same distances. Okay? Like that. That. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Let's move this back over. Look at all those knots are together. There's that long one. Okay, we got these two left over here. Okay, gonna fold those up to those, make them all the same length and as even as you can. Just like that. Kind of hold those down there. Pinch them in there so they're all together, and then fold this one over. I hope this works. Fold that one over and real tight so you get this. Okay, just like that. Okay, so we got a measurement here, 1.5. So you want the distance of that line to be about up to that point, and then halfway back. Okay, pinch it off right there. Okay, don't let anything on that string move or change. Okay, I'm pinching that really hard. Now here we go. Oh boy, look at that one that was like almost too short. Okay, I hope I can grab that for the knot. Now, like before, give that a twist so this thing will start. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, I'm gonna have to make that shorter on mine. I need a little bit more, but don't do that on yours. I'm trying to get that knot. Yeah, see, that's another reason to make the shroud lines plenty long. Okay, here's that. Now where's that short one? Ooh, it's right there. not easy. I'm gonna give mine a real good twist. I'm still holding on that and not letting it move. Okay, now I'm pinching both the sides, and I'm going to attempt to push that through that small hole. Ah, gosh. Rats. What can I do? I could go back here really carefully. Yeah, mine's gonna come out jacked up probably. Okay, I need more string. And what you can do is, now I can get that. Probably. Okay, I need more string. And what you can do is, now I can get that. Well, look at that. Come on, man. Okay, this time. Look at that. Okay. Now, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I got to slide all this back up there to that point. Let's see. Okay. Good. Now, before I tighten that, I'm going to make sure. Okay, that's not bad. Okay. Pinch that. Always got to be careful. Don't let this stuff change back here. Then you have a weird parachute. Okay, so now you tighten that up. Now here's what you got to do. You got to take each one of these lines and pinching the you know what out of it back here, and pull on each one of those really hard, one at a time. I'm gonna get that one out of the way. Okay. Like that. Come on, man. Boy, it's being stubborn. Come on. Okay. Like that. Okay. Really tight. Tuck that away. You know, I'm really pinching hard to keep any of these lines from slipping behind my thumbs there. One more. Ah, all right. Now look at that knot. That ain't going anywhere. Okay. Now here's what you're gonna do. There's this long line. Okay. You're not gonna cut any of that off. Okay, that's the long one. Here's all the short ones. Kind of already know what's coming up here. Now you're gonna leave about 1/4 of an inch on this one. Like that. Careful you don't cut your original shroud lines. Okay, so then you got all those little guys right there. This could be a little tricky. I want those to melt together. Yeah, it's hot, but I'm just kind of pressing it together. Okay, now it's not hot anymore and it's dry, and I got a little ball like that. Okay, so here's what you got. Got your parachute, this, and that long line down here. Whew, okay. Oh, just for the heck of it. Let's cut that off right here at 1 foot. Okay, that's between that knot and the end of that. Okay, a little bit more is a little bit better than less. Okay, burn your little ball on the end of that. And there's the parachute. Okay, very good. Now we set this aside. Well, you could just, like, you know, for now. Like that. Like that. It should hold it all together. Okay, now when you get to that single line, then you can just do it like this. If you just do that with all the rest of them, that's how you get your parachute tangled up. Okay. Now we get this lovely over here. This is going to be a shroud line. Let's see how long we want this. Okay, let's see. I might have enough here on this piece. It was used for something else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is 6 going to be enough? Let's see. I'll explain that in a minute. Yeah, okay. That was 6 times around the ruler. What is that? About 60 inches? Okay, there we go, like that. Just like this. You don't need to burn the end that's cotton. All you're gonna do is catch a fire or something. Okay. I could trim a little bit of that rad off of there. Just like that. The reason why you want such a long shroud line is when the parachute ejection charge in the motor blows those 2 body tubes apart to release the parachute, it doesn't put a heavy pressure and give you a zippering effect on the rocket as much. If this is long, then the rocket will just be flopping around and going. By the time this gets tight, if it does, it won't damage the rocket, hopefully. Now I'm going to put this aside, and there's something we got to make here. Okay? You don't even need to eyeball this or anything. Let's see if it's curved this way, because I want to put it, this is going to be glued in that body tube. So what we need to do is make it this way. Okay? And the grain is going like that. Okay, this will make life easier when we glue that thing in there finally. Okay, I need to make 2. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Let's make it 3/8. 3/8 wide. Need to get a new ruler, man. That. This don't have to be all that perfect because none of this is going to be showing. 1, 2, 3. 3/8. 1, 2, 3. 3/8. Just like that. Okay. Take your handy dandy scissors and you can just sloppily cut this. There's nothing high tech about this. In the case of this rocket, I don't think I'd go any wider than 3/8, but not any narrower. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, fold that in half like that. Fold that in half. Oh, jeez. How deep was that? Oh, 1 inch. Remember? Okay. Can eyeball just a little bit less than 1 inch. Okay, that's a little bit. That's about 7/8. Okay, like that. Roll it like that. Like that. Like that. I'll just tear the excess off like that. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay. Get your gluer out. I put some glue in there. Oh boy. Okay. That was came out a little bit too thick. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go like this. Okay. Leave it off that fold a little bit like that. That way you'll have room to fold it. Okay, like that. Okay, center it. Want that thing in the center. Good job. Okay. Now, kind of holding that off this side. Like that. Well, let's get the glue all the way across there. This is to hold the shroud line in the rocket. Okay, now lay that in the center of that, like that, and simply fold that one over. Try and keep it sort of in the center, but kind of maybe on the side of that last one. Okay, same thing here. As you can see, there ain't no way this is going to come out of there. Okay, get that in the center. You can always wipe that excess glue off your fingers later. Okay, like that. Turn it over. I don't even think we need that much. You know what? We don't need that much. Okay, this one's done. Okay, center everything. Here's a trick you could do. Take your fingernail on both sides of that and make that so that string is centered coming out of there. Okay, fingernail it. This will be the outside of this thing. Okay, just like that. Okay, it's flat on one side, and then you can see all of that, and we got a pretty good deal going on there. Now what I'm going to do is, okay, don't, get it started a little bit, okay, because we're going to use a stick to glue that in there. Now this should hold up. It shouldn't dry until we get the other end done. Same thing here. Okay. I hope the length of that is correct. I didn't double check that on mine. Remember those plugs that we did? We plugged it, I believe, 1 inch in the hole. So this should just fit in there perfectly without sticking out. If some of it sticks out, oh well. Okay. All right. Same old thing. Oh, I got some glue on there. Let's see if I can wipe some of that excess off on there. Don't waste your glue. Someday there might not be any glue. Okay. It's starting to get ragged. I'm going to just cut a little bit. Let's see. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Okay, so give this a twist. Okay. Lay that on there. I don't want that thing to be too short, because then if it snaps when that thing opens, it will zipper it. Back a little bit. Back there. Okay. Like that. Okay, make sure it's the center coming out of there. Like that. Get it glued down, fingernail it down a little bit, get more glue on there. Okay, now get that over here like that. You don't need to pull on it, just lay it down where it naturally wants to fall. You don't really, it's not good to have pressure on anything that's glue that on there. Okay, let's see. You can center the string by fingernailing that down, just like that. Oh boy. Okay, turn it over. Let's get a little bit more glue in there. I don't want that to come apart. Boy, that glue is just running all over the place. Thinks it's running track and field or something. Okay, let's see. Here. Just gonna try and go as quickly as I can. Okay. Let's see what I got going here. Straight. Fold it over. Come on. I think the folds, I started off that first fold at 3/4 of an inch, and by the time you get to the end here, it'll be about 1 inch. Okay. Again, fingernail that down so it sticks. Glue is nice and mushy. When it dries, that'll be hard as a rock. It ain't going nowhere. Okay, and again, like last time, I don't need that. Just tear that off of there. Now, fingernail it really good and down tight, and you get something that looks like that. Then start that bend this way. Okay. I don't know how much that hole, that diameter of that tube, this has got to fit in. Okay. But you just kind of get it started. Kind of like that. All right. I think it's easier to do the big side first. There's this. Now that thing's going to be glued down in there. So here's what... Alright, we're back. We're back. Yeah, the battery did go dead. And the SD card, it ran out of space. Whew, boy, that was no fun. Anyway, let's get back to this build. Here we go. We have this string. They call this a shot cord. Well, usually they use it like an elastic band that springs, and I really don't like those because usually they spring when that thing pops open, and then the whole thing, you know, the front and the top part come back and smash into each other and whatever. So I usually make the shot cord really long. I should have made this longer. I think 4 feet instead of about 3 feet would have been better. Anyway, let's put this back over here. Got this thing. Okay, so here we go. There's the glue. Put that over there, wipe that off. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put some glue on there. Make sure you get enough of it on there. Okay. I usually put a huge amount of glue on there. I don't want this to come out. Now, tricky part, I'll lay that puppy in there like that. I don't know if you could see what I'm doing. Okay. Now I'm gonna take a stick like this, push that in there like that. Okay. And now I'm gonna be pushing down on that. Pretty much that's it. Make sure that's down all the way. You don't want that to come out. Look at that. That 1 inch fits perfectly. Stick the finger in there. Give it a little bit of... Okay. I can see it in there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but... Okay. If you're unsure, when that all dries, you can shoot more glue in there. I'm just making sure it's down all the way, that's all. It's a lightweight rocket. I don't think that'll ever come out of there. Okay, now we got this side. Get this piece, got that. Yeah, making that that plug an inch down in there, or slightly farther, was the ideal trick to do. Okay, oops, gotta take that off of there. Okay. Get enough glue on there. It's okay to put a good amount of it on there. Most of that will dry away. I just want to make sure that it's down all the way when that's put in there. Let's see, put that in there like that. Okay, gonna get the stick and push that down in there like the other one. Don't know if you guys can see that or not. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Like I said, if you're worried about that a little bit, when it completely dries, you can simply just put more glue down in there. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay. There we go. Wish I'd stop doing that dumb habit. There we are. Okay. Now, we're gonna just put this in a safe place to dry. Make sure those things are on the bottom of each one of these. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna take this and we're gonna go, what is that? We could measure this. This don't have to be absolutely perfect because I'm going to just eyeball that. How about 6 inches? Okay, 6 inches. Okay, just go like this. Make one of these. Here's that twist again. That sure makes it easier to do this. Gonna make a loop here. Okay, like that. I forgot to bring one of the clips out here that you tie to the parachute. Okay, so now you got this. Now you take your handy dandy parachute, you can undo that. See how that just opens up really easy because of the material we used. We could just go ahead and attach this on here. If you had to, you could cut it off. But I used to use a little itty bitty fishing hook to hook this on. And I don't have one of those handy right now. And here's what you can do. You can do one of these funny little, I forgot, half hitches or whatever the heck it's called. Okay. And do this. We used to use these kind of knots on a boat. Okay, like that. Loop it around again. Like that. Okay. Like that. And let's see how many of these I can get on there. Sure the heck don't want that chute coming off of there. Okay, there's 3 of them. There's 4. Can I get one more on there? Okay, let's see. Come on, boy, that 4th one is tough to do. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, now you got this. Okay, see that? If you had to, or wanted to, you could just take that off of there, and that's how you'd remove the parachute. Okay. Okay. Get the parachute back up here. Well, look at that, huh? Beautiful. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is show you a trick on how to put all that line in here. The problem is that line is so long, it could get tangled up when it comes out of there. So there's kind of a trick that you could do. It's like a magic knot. Okay, let me show you the magic knot. Make a loop like that and do that. Okay. Okay, let's see. I don't want to make it that thick. Okay, you can make it look something like this. Okay, don't tighten that though. You know, about like that's fine. Let's see what I just did, and just keep making the same knot over and over again. Okay, it's like weaving. I don't know, what do you call those, slip knots? You get better at these. What it does is it shortens this string a lot. Okay, loop like this. Okay, come on. Okay, a little knot like that. You can get better at making these. You don't want to make it real tight, but you don't want to make it real loose either. That one's kind of loose. Let's see if I can, there we go. There we go. Okay, you can see what I'm doing here. It's a slip knot. The good old slip knots. Okay, and just keep doing this until you get far as you can into that body tube over there. Now I've used these. I've never had one of these fail. Knock on wood. Plastic, whatever the heck that is. Okay, we're getting closer to it. Okay. Like that. Like that. Okay, I don't know if I can get one more in there. I might. Kinda, maybe not. Okay, that's good. Alright, so now you just shorten that by about, what is that, a quarter? Less than a quarter of the length. Okay, so this is what you have. Okay, careful that don't start unraveling. When this thing pops, all this will unravel. That'll create a little bit of extra friction to slow the separation down. You know, the goal here is to keep this string right here from ripping down the side of that. And that's really common when the rocket pops, you know, when the rocket separates too fast, it'll just rip right down the side. They can be repaired, but we want to avoid that. See, I don't know if I can, there we go. Just like that. So we have this, we have this. Okay, now, here's how you wind this parachute up really nicely. Okay, just like we folded it when we did that, you can see what we have here. There's no string under this under here. So I got that folded in half, so you fold that in half again. Then you come backwards and fold that in half backwards. Okay, don't matter about this. You want to keep the strings lined up. Okay, and then I'm going to fold that on the back side. Now I'm going to fold this one and bring all these strings together right down here. See, that all worked out pretty good when we tied it all off. Okay, all this right here should be together. Okay, when you're going to fly the rocket, you always undo the parachute and re-roll this. Okay, and when you fly it, this part I'm showing you right now, you want to roll it up loosely. Okay, but for storing the rocket, right, like I'm going to do probably right now. Okay, you don't want to twist this. Okay, whatever that is, I'm just pinching that together. Okay, you want to roll it carefully like this. Okay, all right, like that. Then like this. Don't go like this with that part of the string anyway, with the shrouds, okay? But otherwise they'll tangle up when they open up. Don't want it to untangle up, okay? 1, 2, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish. I'm just showing you how to pack that parachute. I'm gonna make it a little bit looser than this when you actually fly the rocket. You wanna make sure that parachute opens when it gets there, okay? Just like that. Okay, so when you get to this point, putting the parachute in this side first is best. Yeah, I know that's coming apart a little bit there, but I can redo that. Let's see. Fix this thing like this. Just roll it down the middle like this, like that. Okay, then hold it like that. And get it going this way and roll it up like this. Don't want to twist the line or anything, because you want to guarantee or give you the best shot of this thing opening up. Okay, and then we go right there. Okay, let me see, there's a twist in that. Want to get all the twists out of this thing as possible. How's that? Okay, there we go. See that? Now we're going to put this in here loosely. Just lay it all in there very carefully like that. Okay, and then this you're going to lay inside of here like that, very carefully. Get it in there where you know it's not going to tangle. Okay, just like that. Okay, then you bring these two guys together like this. Okay, bam, just like that. And I got my lineup marks just like that, so the thing is straight. Well, there we go. This thing is now completed. the assembly is completed. And what I'm going to do probably is just shoot a little primer on that. All right. All right then, we just finished this rocket. This all the assembly, all the parts are all done, completed. Now all we need is a little bit of paint. Okay. You don't have to paint it. By the way, you could make these in any color or paper you want, but the problem with construction paper, it will quickly fade, and it looks pretty bad. But if I was you, I would paint this. I'm not going to show you the painting process. There's plenty of painting routines and stuff like that. But what you want to do is just take your primer. I like to use red oxide primer, automotive primer, or something like that. It covers pretty good, if Krylon especially. I don't like the other brands because some of those just don't work and they're like a ripoff. But Krylon makes really good primers. Anyway, when you primer this thing, what you do is you fog a couple of really light coats on there where you could just barely see this color through it. And don't go any farther. Let it dry for a day or two, lightly sand it, and then put on a final coat of primer where it's just enough to barely cover the color on there. Okay? If you put too much primer and paint on these things, it'll make it heavy. But also what that'll do is the primer will soak into the paper and give it a little bit more strength. The idea is to keep this light as possible. Now if you want color, you could just leave it primered, but you sand that primer like you did on the first one with like maybe 600 grit or less, and smooth out the primer on all the surfaces, and then lightly fog on the color you want. Different colors have a tendency of coating better than others. Blue will cover pretty quickly. Red is like, you try and spray red on there and it'll take so many coats, you know, to make it solid real red or anything. But just think of it as the color, just lightly color it just to give you the effect, because you want to keep it light. If you're going to use red or yellow, light green, or any light colors, I would suggest primering with white primer, because it's easier to just fog on some red or yellow or something like that, and it comes out pretty bright. But don't go any farther than that. I'll have to show you how to paint on some decals later. I don't know if in this series or the next one, but that's kind of a different kind of a project there in itself. But we'll get to it. But anyway, on the next video, I will have my one light coat of primer on here, maybe a color like I just now described, and then what we're going to do is weigh the rocket after the primer and paint's completely dry. You got to weigh it after that. Okay, if you weigh it before the paint and primer is completely dry, it'll be heavier than it would otherwise be. Anyway, we're going to weigh the thing, and then I could put it in the program that I have, and we'll determine what motor exactly to use, what A motor we can use. They have different delayed for parachute ejection. And it'll tell you how high it will go. And if we have to like add weight to this, so be it, to get the apogee, which is the top part of the rocket. It comes up like that, slows down, it starts tipping over. When it's sideways like this on the flight, that's the ideal place for this parachute to come out. And when it starts coming back down, the speed increases, and then when this comes apart, it might zipper it. So using the best motor possible for this is a must. But we don't know exactly what that is yet until I put this in that computer program. But what I have to do is I have to build this rocket in that computer program, put the weight that I get off the actual rocket here, and go from there. And we'll have that information for you next time. If everything works out okay, maybe I'll show you how to put paint, a little decal on that paint on here. That's not going to add enough weight on there to make a much difference at all, but we'll see. And then after this project is completely done, it'll be off to the big one. I'm going to make this same rocket twice as big. Yeah, missiles to the moon. Okay, well, I don't know what else to say. Anyway, until next episode, which will be episode 12, this is Gadget Man 369 signing off.